The Death of Ivan Illich by Leo Tolstoy can best be described as a story about a man and his struggles with life, death, and friendship. The story itself opens on the funeral of Ivan Illich, wherein those who are attending seem to be more preoccupied with what Ivan's death means for their job ranking rather than what it means for their own mortality. It seems that even in these circumstances, Ivan's wife, Praskovia, is more interested in how to get the most out of Ivan's government pension than she is in mourning the apparent loss of her husband. From here, the story travels back to long before Ivan died, detailing how Ivan's life played out. It describes his family and how he managed to attain the job that he had. Around the time that he gets Praskovia pregnant, he begins noticing her behavior changing into that which clashes with the societal expectations of a man in his position of power. Due to this, he starts distancing himself from his family and changing his focus to putting more effort into his work. Once enough time passes, Ivan starts to believe that he should be considered for a promotion to the rank of presiding judge of a university town. However, the promotion is given to another person. This causes Ivan to become enraged to the point that he requests time off and moves himself and his family out to his brother in law's house. While living there, Ivan becomes increasingly aware that his current salary is unable to cover his family's expenses. The solution, he decides, is to look for a higher paying job in St. Petersburg. While there, he discovers that a close friend of his has gained a position of great authority. This allows him to attain a high paying position in the city. Ivan then buys a house and begins preparing for his family's inevitable arrival. While renovating the house, Ivan falls and hits his side against a window frame. Believing that this injury isn't serious, he finishes remodeling the house until he is pleased with the outcome. After his family moves in, Ivan starts experiencing some mild pain and discomfort in his left side, as well as consistently tasting a strange flavor in his mouth. This pain becomes too much for him to bear as several doctors make an analysis of Ivan's condition. All end up disagreeing about the cause of these problems. It is around this time that Ivan starts having troubling thoughts about his own mortality, and we discover Praskovia's apparent lack of care for her husband's deteriorating health condition. As time passes, Ivan becomes unable to take care of himself to the point where his servant, Gerasim, has to help him with expelling waste. During this humbling period of time for Ivan, Gerasim shows him more compassion and honesty than anyone else had in his life up to this point. It is also during this period that Ivan notices that those around him, both his wife and friends, are pushing the idea that he is not dying, but is only sick. This deeply upsets Ivan, as he believes that everyone around him is made up of artificiality. Ivan begins having dreams about being forced into a deep black bag, but being unable to fit. Soon after, Ivan becomes unable to leave his couch, so he spends his time thinking about the rationality of his suffering. He soon comes to realize that the earlier portions of his life contained much more happiness than his later years. This causes him to question if he has truly been living life correctly. Yet again, he has the vision of being forced into the black bag. However, during this vision, he experiences a large amount of pain, some of this from being forced into the black bag, and some of it from not being able to completely fit inside of it. Suddenly, an unknown force hits Ivan in the chest and side, pushing him through into the bag. It's at this moment that he accepts the fact that all of his family and friends were artificial. With this realization, Ivan feels a wave of happiness wash over him and passes away. To me, the death of Ivan Illich shares a powerful message that applies even to this day. This message being that you should always choose friends based off their character rather than their status. With society being the way that it is today, it can be very easy to get caught up in how big a person's numbers are. Whether or not someone has a large following on social media can often mean more to people than how good of a person you truly are. This has left people today in a more saddened state, where people feel as though if they aren't extremely popular or well known online, that they don't matter. If society were to reshift its focus back onto the content of a person's character, rather than how many internet points a person has, I feel as though the world would become a much happier place.